Well, hello. Welcome back, folks. Let's do Turntable tonight. We're going to have a wee tasting session. Got a super guest in the background. They've got the usual reprobates in the background, so it should be an interesting night. Should be lots of very good whiskey getting sunk and sent down the hatch, nice and responsibly, of course. But yeah, no, we're going to do a 8 DRAM turntable lineup. We're going to whiz through them nice and easily, nice and patiently, and hopefully we're going to pick them apart and learn a wee bit more about turntable tonight. Just looking in the back, I've got a Graham Hawks in there already. How you doing there, buddy? Donna Pass has been, he's gone out for some fish and chips, so he'll be back a wee bit later on. So yeah, it looks like there's 8 of us, but I think 6 of them are in the background, so we've got a slow start tonight. But yeah, no, it should be interesting to be looking forward. Been planning this for a wee while. It's been in the making. Finally arrived, finally tonight to do it. And there's Pete Head. How you doing, Pete Head? Nice to see you, buddy. Thanks for dropping by as usual. You can keep everybody in line on the chat, mate. You can keep them all in line. So let's me. What I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to start bringing the guys in. We'll get them in, and then we'll kick this off. So there's Dad. Oh, I've got Dave messing with the telly. Look at that. Got you there, Dave.
Sorry, I've got you on the telly.
Right. How you doing, mate? There's Ian. So these are the kind of usual suspects. Let's see where we go now. And I think there's another one down here. There's Paul and Newbie, John. Yeah. And this might be a face that you might recognise, some of you. There's Ali. How you doing, Ali?
Very well, thanks.
Nice to have you in. Nice to have you. Thank you for taking the time to come and join us, mate.
No, it's a pleasure. Thanks for sharing the drams round and getting it set up. Delighted to join.
No, the pleasure's all ours, my friend. We've been trying to get this organised for a wee while. A couple of things came up in the line, but we've finally got here. So yeah, usual suspects are in. Couple of newbies, and hopefully Ali's going to share some of his wisdom with us today and enlighten us all about turntable and tell us all about it and what to expect and where it's going to go and hopefully we're going to enjoy some of these nice whiskies along the way. So yeah, so it's pretty cool. So what I'm going to kick this off, Ali. I don't know if you want to tell us a wee bit about you, mate. What's a wee bit about Ali? What's the background going on and what's going on there, mate? So there, the centre stage is all yours.
Thanks, mate.
You can let us know what your background is.
Yeah, background. Worked in whiskey for 14 years. So was straight out of university into whiskey. So Gordon, my brother and I, we kind of grew up in it in some way, and our dad worked in the industry for a very long time. Sort of 35 years or so that he was in the industry, a lot of that time as MD at Imberhouse. And yeah, I always had quite an interest in the industry, always quite curious and loved the sort of collaborative nature of it. I loved all the sort of trading between companies and this kind of broader vision in a way, or broader mission of Scotch whisky that it's all about growing the category and it's not as cutthroat as some other industries. We're all kind of working together collaboratively to try and grow the overall piece, which is unique, I would say. So out of university, I went to work for the Ben Riach distillery company. So at the time that was Ben Riach, Glendronach, and then during the time I was there, Glenglassaugh was acquired as well. And I was there for about 6 years. And then the company was taken over by Brown Forman. I stayed for about a year during that time, but in the background then one of the previous owners of Ben Riach, who a lot of you guys will be very familiar with, Billy Walker, he was pulling together a small team to acquire Glenallachie distillery from Pernod Ricard. So when that edition was completed, I moved across to Glenallachie for about 3 or 4 years. So I worked with Billy for the best part of 10 years, and very fortunate to spend a lot of time, and I just learned firsthand from such a legend in the whiskey industry. So a lot of the wood management, the stock management, a lot of the broader vision that we have at Turntable, if you really drill into, you probably sort of see the Billy Walker style and footprint over it in some ways as well. But so during my years working in the industry before we started Turntable, Gordon and I, so my brother, he worked in the industry for many years as well, but we'd never worked together. It's something we always wanted to do. And when we started to drill into what that might look like, we quite quickly saw a vision for how Turntable could evolve, and that we both had this sort of shared frustration in a way that around the whiskey world, it's very common that people look at single malts as the quality and blends as the volume. And we don't really agree with that at all. We tried to get a better understanding as to why that perception exists, but theoretically, scientifically, there's no good reason why a blend should be inferior to a single malt. In theory, you could argue the opposite. So we just wanted to really showcase how exciting blended whiskey could be and focus on quality, transparency, innovation, just really using the best cask available to us to create outstanding blends and focusing on quality over volume. So that's kind of the vision. So we launched that 3 years ago. So that really takes us to where we are now.
Nice. Well, fantastic. So let me get the guys back.
That's better.
No,
it's a
super
strange
stuff.
experience just looking at myself.
This is why it's giving you get you up there and let everybody else get a good look at you, mate. That's where we're just milking it a little bit. But yeah, so we'll kick off with the first one. I'm sure along the way, I think some of the guys have got some questions for you, and I'm sure you'll be happy to dive in and answer some of those. So we're going to dive into the first one, guys. We're going to do the Bittersweet Symphony, Ali. So
Sure.
That's one of your core range ones, isn't it? Yeah. So thought we'd start with that. Super little packaging and super bottles, by the way.
Thanks very much. Thanks. Yeah, it's a cracking dram, this one as well. So this is our more heavily sherry matured one in the core range.
Yeah, well, they certainly stand out on the shelf anyway. Super stuff, man.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I think even when it came to the branding and packaging, obviously, like there's so much tradition in the industry, which makes sense. Like so many of the distilleries have 100+ years of history and heritage, and it makes sense that the packaging falls into that traditional style. But I guess with what we were trying to do and challenge the way people think about blends, and we don't have the history and heritage attached, we thought a nice chance to be a bit more modern and stand out on the shelf.
So where did the idea of Turntable come from? What's the thinking behind that? I'm sure you must get asked that all the time. But...
Yeah, for sure. So we both, outside the world of whiskey, we both love music. Sadly, neither of us has any musical talent, so nothing there. But I would say, like, quite enjoy the idea of exploring the connection between whiskey and music. Just the thought that both can take you to different place, different memory, unique to each of us. And I always get curious what different people around the world would choose to listen to when they taste our whiskies. So that was part of it, and then the other part was the main ambition, and what we're trying to do is change the way people think about blends. So the idea was turn the table, flip the record, do things differently. So that was the thinking.
Cool. Oh. So this is a start for me because I'm a wee bit of a sherry fan myself. So this is obviously right up my street to start with.
Yeah, nice man. I would say, like, on the Bittersweet Symphony, it's just like that. Yeah, if we look at especially a couple of the distilleries I was working for previously, Glendronach and Glenallachie, you'd have them as real sort of signature sherry matured styles of whiskey on the market today. And I would say, like, I love sherry matured whiskey, but I think there's almost like a realization some way in that the industry have noticed how popular this is. Like, people love the dark color, the sweet flavors, and I think sometimes there's a few of the bottlers and the distillers who are like maybe overdoing the sherry a bit, especially on the PX. Like, it can become very, very sweet and a touch one-dimensional at times, whereas I think Glendronach and Glenallachie do a really great job because they are slightly bigger, heavier, oilier styles of spirit that stand up well to the sherry cask. So I would say that even when we were pulling the Bittersweet Symphony together, we were quite conscious that we wanted to use heavier styles of distillate that keep that well balanced. So it's a lot of Craigellachie, Tianinic, Balmenach, really full-bodied, heavy style.
I think you're lucky enough to send me the tasting pack, the original one that came in, and I think that was where am I thinking? Craigellachie, Blair Athol, Balmenach, and North British, So I take it this one comes in batches. It will just change from batch to batch.
Exactly. So you'll notice that on the packaging, like on the limited editions, we put the full breakdown as to what is in the blend on the packaging. So what percentage, what distillery, what cask type, fully transparent. On the core range, we put it on the website, and the only reason it's not on the packaging is just like you're saying, Alan, that when we produce a new batch, we need the flexibility to tweak the breakdown. It won't be the exact same percentage, the exact same distillates. So even like on the latest batch, you probably noticed that we're not using Craigellachie, but it would be Tianinic. So sometimes
I think the one I have is the latest one. I think the one I've got here is a later one, I think. Because it just says first fill Oloroso, first fill Pedro Jimenez, and Virgin Oak. That's the kind of lay down. The first thing I realised is because I went to the Air Festival last year, and I bought a guy a DRAM of this Bittersweet Symphony, and I thought I'll let him get into it and try it. And then when I tasted it, it tasted different, slightly different for the other one. I had to look twice because it's what I remembered from the first one. I didn't realise at the time that was your plan to obviously change the batches from time to time.
Yeah. So I'd say
I see the point now.
I'd almost say like the way we look at the different batches of the core range is more similar to like a single malt than a blend. So obviously with most of the big blends, you think of Johnny Walker, Ballantyne's, Chivas Regal, like the consistency, like from year to year, batch to batch, different continents is extremely high. But if you look at the world of single malt, again, I look at a distillery I know very well that I worked for. So Glenallachie, 12 years old, the flagship product. If you tasted a batch in sort of 2020 and then tasted a batch today, you probably know it's the same distillery, very similar style, but not identical. And that's kind of how our core range batches are. I would say there's much, much smaller batches, of course, but also like we would never shy away from using an outstanding cask because we're afraid that we can't recreate that exact flavor profile in the future. So like we're always trying to create the best version of that whiskey with the cask available to us at that time. So I would say that the Bittersweet Symphony will always be heavy, bold, sherry matured, probably slightly more on the Oloroso than the PX side, and you probably get a little, like, if you guys, I don't know if you guys would agree, but I would say this is maybe slightly drier and slightly spicier than some sherry matured whiskies. Probably more your like real dark chocolate, orange peel, cinnamon, not quite as sweet as some of the real punchy PX finishes that you get today. So
I got it kind of heavy, dark toffee, almost fudgy, treacly, that kind of thing as well, with a chocolate covering on. But
I think you probably get that, Ali. You've got quite a big percentage of North British in this, haven't you? And I think that's where the toffee's coming from.
Yeah, and Virgin Oak as well. So the Virgin Oak definitely bringing some of those toffee notes in. I think, off the top of my head, I'm guessing that the North British was somewhere between around the 25 to 30% mark.
27%. I've got it in front of me.
Yeah. course.
Ooh, teacher's pet, Dave.
Oh, hey, what's going on here? I have to apologise, Ali. I wasn't expecting this, mate. I wasn't expecting to come on and abuse you, mate. You know, really, apologies, mate.
Sorry, Ali, we abused you in Soho Whiskey Club recently, so sorry, it's a double whammy now.
I love it. I love doing the tasting down at Soho. That was great fun, and I loved the guys had people bringing along the vinyl records on the night and things. As well. It was cracking. Loved it.
So where are you picking up that breakdown from, Dave? Then
On the fantastic Turntable website, their breakdown on each whiskey is superb.
Right.
It's a refreshing website.
Yeah, I think.
Time in your hands now, Dave.
Yeah.
I think our view in a way is if we want to, like, as I say, the main ambition, change the way people think about blends, and if that is converting guys who are real passionate single malt fans, I think a real key way for us to do that is transparency, is that connection. So Gordon and I discussed this, and that, like, I think the growth in single malt, a lot of it is driven by quality, like amazing whiskey, but I think also whiskey enthusiasts today, they love that level of information available with single malts, like where the distillery is, what cask type, who's making it, what the history is. And I think we need to find a way to bring blends to life in the same way for people, and transparency can be a very good way to do that.
Just a shame you're not allowed to put it on the bottle or the package.
So we can on the limited, like, so that's what I was saying. Just on the core, it's when we're changing batches, I just need the flexibility to not be tied down to on the label, but the area of transparency
so
is
on the website. You still put it on the website, but not on the box.
Yeah, absolutely, all on the website. But the only area of transparency that's more difficult for us is we can't put the age of the different component whiskies on either the website or the bottle. You can only put the age of the youngest, which is a little frustrating. So like we choose not to put age state, like the age of the youngest, because I almost think that's more misleading in a way, given the range of ages that we use. But I mean, just to give you guys an idea, most of the whiskies you'll taste tonight will be around the 70 to 80% malt content in the blend, 20 to 30% grain content. Of the malt, most of the whiskies will be between 10 and 15 years old. And of the grain, most will be sort of over 16, like a lot of the time over 20 years old. So we're never adding grain whiskey just to stretch out the volume the way most people would associate with blenders. Like we're only adding grain whiskey to try and add something to the flavor profile. And even when it comes, like, I know if people just look at a brand with no age statement, sometimes the assumption can be sort of 3, 4, 5 years old. We almost took the decision to go no age statement because I think on the Bittersweet Symphony, if we put 10 years old on it, you assume it's a 10 years old, whereas there's plenty of 21-year-old whiskey in that bottle as well. So we almost just made the decision that doing tastings like this, letting people try and actually explaining what we're doing, and through time we hope to build a reputation that people know we use a range of ages, and it's not non-age because it's young.
No, it's fantastic. Lovely mouthfeel as well, man. It's lovely. It's a little bit dry, textured on arrival, but it goes that little bit jammy and sticky as well, man. I love that kind of sticky vibe. Chocolate's prominent, a little bit nutty as well. Got a bit nutty vibe in it.
For sure. This one, I mean, I would say this one's probably become our sort of flagship so far. It's probably become the most popular in the range, which is great.
Right,
we're really happy with this one. Remind me, Alan, what I can see 5 of the whiskies on the desk. Remind me what the other 3 are as well.
So I have the Bittersweet Symphony, the Joy, Discovery, Invention. Where are we? All My Life.
Yeah.
Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger. The Dingle that you've sent me. Got the Dingle. Firestarter.
Nice.
And I've got the latest one, I think, Born to Be Wild, and we're going to end on Smoking Riff.
Perfect.
So that's the 8.
Perfect.
I think we done 10 you've done?
Hey,
10 bottlings?
Good question. I think
there is. I think I've missed the Paradise Funk. I think Paradise Funk I've missed.
Yeah.
And the Starward, I think, is the only other one I've got.
Starward. There is the track 3 Purple Haze, but that's quite long gone now as well.
Oh, yeah. So it must be 11 then, yeah. All right, yeah. So, yeah, cool. Fantastic. What are your thoughts on that one, fellas? Who's enjoyed that?
Yeah, lovely.
Got a decent start.
Yeah, great start.
That was really nice.
We'll wait till he goes away and he can tell us the truth. No, it's lovely, man. Lovely.
I'm getting very chocolatey afterwards.
Chocolate. I got a lot of chocolate on the finish.
Yeah.
Even goes a wee bit malty in the finish. A wee malty finish. Chocolate malty. Lovely.
He's going a lot.
That's right up my street, that, man. That's super duper.
I always think, again, based on like where you worked previously, I'd happily put that sort of on the table blind with Glendronach 15, Glenallachie 15, and do the 3 and see where we stand. But I think that's confident.
Pretty strong, yeah.
Is that still kicking around about what, 50 odd, 55, something like that?
Yeah, around the sort of 50 to 53. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Super duper.
Good value. Very good value.
Next one up. Track 1. Does that mean that was the first one you done?
It's the very first. So that came out before.
That's the bad boy, yeah.
Yeah, that came out before the core range. So that was almost like
wow.
It was almost sort of testing the market a little at the time and see what styles, what the feedback was, and building the core range around it.
It's absolutely lovely, man. They're fantastic. And I have a breakdown on this one.
You need to remind me what it is.
Well, it ain't on your website. I can't check. I can't see it.
Okay, so this one is 17% Knock Do Chinkapin, 40% Linkwood Virgin Oak, 24% Girvan Red Wine, and 19% Strathclyde X Cognac. Super.
Yeah, so I mean that's a higher proportion of grain whiskey than usual for us, but the Strathclyde, I can remember the Strathclyde is 19 and the Girvan is 26 years old, so quite a decent proportion of old stuff in there. The Knock Do, so I mean most of you guys will know Knock Do Distillery, the brand associated with Knock Do is Annoch, so Knock Do is Annoch. So that's in the Chinkapin cask, and then we said the Linkwood in the Virgin Oak. So obviously as well, like we started buying casks in around 2019 or in 2019, and at the time we said we wouldn't release Turntable as a brand until 2023. It was basically to really get a handle on our wood management, do quite a lot of re-racking, develop the whiskies to a point that we were happy with before we started blending and bottling. So like for some of the, like this one being our first release, obviously we wanted the wood to influence quite quickly as well. So that's the reason for a higher proportion of Virgin Oak and Chinkapin on the first release as well, compared to some of the more recent releases where we had a bit more time where we could sort of gradually take the whiskey in different directions. But obviously in a shorter time, the Virgin Oak can have a lot of impact with the vanilla, the toffee, the sort of peppery wood spice notes. But from some of those older grain whiskies as well, you get some really interesting tropical fruits in there as well. Which
but even that Linkwood just jumps out here. Linkwood, the Virgin Oak. The two main things for me was the Virgin Oak and the Linkwood. That's the kind of that's jumping out. So I've wrote down here. It's approachable, inviting, and very fruity.
I think the nose is so bright. It's a summery nose. It's just lovely and bright and
We all have different styles of whiskey. I mean, Alan, you said you're sort of a real sherry tooth. You love that style.
Yeah.
All of us probably appreciate quite the diversity of whiskey as well. But if I was pinning myself down to a style that would be the kind of go-to, this would be the type of whiskey I would pull most regularly.
Very strawberry to me.
What was that? Sorry.
Very strawberry.
Strawberry. Yeah, interesting.
Tiramisu.
Getting the coffee.
Yeah, definitely get coffee from that. A wee bit of espresso.
Yeah. It's very fruity and juicy at the start, but finishes quite dry. So you want to take another sip immediately.
Good marketing.
Yeah.
That's lovely. It's a good brand.
An open bottle of that would not last very long, I think.
It's a lovely drink.
It's quite cool, even the name on this one. So loads of, like, obviously we name some of the whiskies after specific songs, specific tracks and things, and loads of people will ask like what the reason is, and it can be different reasons. It can be a song that we think pairs very well with the whiskey, or it can be the words or something to do with the story. But this one was quite cool in that Joy Discovery Invention is the first track on the first album by a band called Biffy Clyro. Some of you might have heard of, but Glasgow band. They were at the same school as Gordon and I, so it was the first concert I went to when I was like 13 years old or something. I've still got the ticket, and I just thought like what we're about as a whiskey company, how we want to be, the sort of joy, discovery, invention. I thought really sort of tied into our ethos as well. So it's like, it was a more story behind the name of that one than most of the others as well, which is quite cool.
Always seem to have a slippery tongue with it. Some big Joy Division comes along the way with every time I look at this man. Yeah. I keep getting Joy Division, but I have to look twice just to make sure it's not, but
what kind of music do you go for?
I'm an old guy, man. I don't really have a kind of different parts of my life. I tend to have different kind of times. I think I came through the new romantic age and all that, like say the Spandau Ballets and the Duran Durans and all that. But living in Manchester, I get all the Manchester bands rammed down my throat, the Oasis and all these kind of guys. But I'm pretty easy going on music. But I do remember Joy Division back in the day, man. But yeah, Blondie was another one. That was that was my first childhood crush, I think, was
way before my time. Way before my time.
Yeah, it was a Debbie Harry man back in the day.
The old git.
But yeah, but I went through a phase of kind of all different types through different decades, I think. And I think that's where music goes. It changes through the different decades, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Unless you're into and that's where you can find I tend not to listen to it as much nowadays. I tend to be an old guy and listen to the sport on the radio now rather than the music. But yeah. So this is Dave's right, this is super summery. This is a proper even looking at the packaging, it just looks all summery.
Yeah, I'd have that as a real summer dram, just as I say. I don't know, do some of you guys, would you go for like older single grain casks from time to time and things as well?
Yeah, definitely.
Enjoy that style? Yeah, so like I mean I love some of the older grain casks that we have, and like I know it's a category that people are not always so interested in, but once you get sort of over the 20-year-old mark, some of the flavour, the nuances, the depth that you can get on some of these older grain whiskies are amazing. And even for us, when we're sourcing casks from different distilleries around the industry, like the quality versus the price and the value on some of the older grains is just brilliant. So obviously, I mean, if you're looking at buying 25-year-old, 30-year-old single malt, like especially if it's sort of Glenrothes, Highland Park, Macallan type thing, that you get some great liquid, but the price versus the quality of what you're trying to put in the bottle doesn't always stack up the same way. So it's I think some of these grains can be great.
Master and Malt tend to do a lot of them, Alan. They tend to do a lot of grain, old 25s, 30s, 35s, and they're pretty reasonably priced.
Absolutely, you can get some great stuff. Yeah. I always think just no need to be snobby on any of it, to be honest. It's just being open-minded and seeing great flavour can come from different areas. So, yeah. The Doves.
James is into the Doves. The Doves, nice. Wow,
yeah. The other area that I think sometimes people can be quite dismissive of is distilleries that you've not necessarily heard of. So, like, obviously some of the big Pernod Ricard distilleries, Diageo distilleries, where people might not know the distillery name because the owners don't focus on it as a single malt brand. They would use it more as an ingredient for their blending purposes. So a lot of the time people would think, does that mean it's not good enough to be a single malt brand? And I think it's just not true at all. It's just dependent on the owners at the time and what their strategy is. So, like, I mean, you look at Diageo and some of the liquid they're distilling is unbelievable. I mean, Liquid, Mortlach.
I like the Dalyuans and the Rennis and Glenburgie. Very ever the bad Glenburgie, man.
Yeah. I love Glenburgie. I think Pernod makes some great stuff. But again, like, I think it's an easy way for me to kind of describe that to people as well, is that, like, it took a change of ownership for anybody to really know what Ben Riach was or Glenallachie was. Like, under Pernod Ricard's ownership, you wouldn't see it as a single malt. It was just, it wasn't part of their strategy. And the amazing liquid being released from these distilleries, like, yes, Billy's done an amazing job on the blending and the wood management and things, but a lot of the liquid, most of the liquid that's been released was still distilled by Pernod Ricard. And that will evolve through time, but it doesn't get there overnight. But I guess the point is, like, just because it's not a recognizable distillery name, the quality of liquid being produced can be really, really good.
I think this one is definitely, I'll go back to it as a summer dram. Glencadam 10, Orchard House, they're the sort of whiskies I take abroad. I could easily take this one abroad. Definitely on a nice hot summer's day.
It's nice we're getting all the music coming in now as well. Good stuff.
Yeah, we are. It's lovely.
I don't know, the rest of you guys, Dave, Paul, do you guys have styles of whiskey you would usually go for, or would you mix it across all different kind of styles?
I'm just very promiscuous. I do steer away from sherry if I could. I like sherry if it's done properly, and I certainly like your starter dram. But yeah, very promiscuous myself. If it's good, it's good.
Nice.
Yeah, I started off. Sherry's what got me into kind of whiskey. Was never really a fan of it until I tried a sherry whiskey, and like Dave, I'm just a big tart now. So yeah, happy to have it.
Nice.
Paul's a Glenallachie, man.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
It's great stuff. Yeah, really, really good liquid. How about you, Alan? Although Alan too, sorry.
I do
the real Alan.
I'm not. I have no barriers.
Nice.
All tarts on this channel. All tarts.
If it's peated in sherry, though, that's my favourite, really.
We've got a couple of them to come.
Fantastic.
And a few bits and bobs.
You were saying you guys are not really into kind of playing music or very musical. Ali, I spent an evening with Gordon in the Oran Moor. It was 2:00 in the morning, and I can absolutely confirm that he's got a fantastic voice.
He definitely doesn't. I know there is no hidden talent there. I'm absolutely certain.
Yeah, and I can actually agree with that as well, to be fair.
Too picky, you think it was epic, it's been said about other single grades as well, but he's not agreeing, man.
No, no stress. I think it's
Oh,
fair
I do.
enough for everybody, but always good to be open-minded.
Absolutely. Okay, next one up. Let's through these now. All My Life. What's the story on this one, Ali?
Yeah, it's a cool one. So it's a limited release that we did that we're sort of focusing on the distilleries Gordon and I worked for before we started Turntable. So it's almost a little bit of our story, our time working in the industry, but also we know the distillates really, really well. So there's Ben Riach and Glenallachie.
This is about 80. This is about 80% malt. This.
Yeah. So there's
21 Glenallachie.
Yeah.
Woodford barrels.
Yeah. Sorry. Carry on, Al.
Blair, Bal Blair Limousine. Hop Traves, 14%. 16% first fill bourbon barrels, Ben Riach. 30% Knockdo, first fill, all the rose was sherry. And 19% North British bourbon barrels. So yeah, again, 46%. Cool.
Yeah, so I mean, like really great distilleries in there, probably quite recognisable ones for everybody. Mainly Speyside influence. So you've got Annog, Ben Riach, Glenallachie, and Bal Blair making up the malt content. So I mean, all really beautiful distilleries. A variety of wood styles, and you've got the American oak, so bourbon cask, Woodford Reserve cask. There's French oak, the Limousin for the Bal Blair, and then the Annog, the Knockdo's, and Oloroso sherry. So combination between bourbon, sherry, and some French oak as well. Neither of us, Gordon or I, had ever worked for a grain distillery before, but I mentioned earlier that our dad had been in the industry for a long, long time. So his first job in the industry 35 years ago or so was with North British. So we thought it was quite nice that North British was the grain element of this one. So, but yeah, I mean, I would say it's almost what you'd expect with these distillates. Like it's a really nice whiskey, but very easy drinking. Lots of toffee, apple crumble, rum raisin ice cream. Yeah, maybe hints of that kind of popcorn note as well. But yeah, a sort of real classic Speyside.
That's lovely. Eh?
That limousine, the only other limousine cask one I've done with Loch Lomond did a 14-year-old limousine, which was probably one of my favourite.
I don't think I've tried that one before actually. Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely, man. Well, I think they discontinued it though. I think it's
limited.
No, I think it was a limousine, 14-year-old limousine, and then it was out, and then I bought a couple of bottles of it, and then all of a sudden it disappeared. But then I think I seen probably about 6 months ago it was back again.
I need to check it out.
That was probably my favourite Loch Lomond. If you to nail me down to one, that's the only time I've ever done that limousine as well, apart from this one. As you can see, I'm kind of smashing through this one as well. Nice and responsibly, of course, you know. So it's very, very nice.
Yeah, I think we've all helped you clear some of that stock anyway. I think the Glenallachie's coming through on this. I know it's only 21% compared to the Annog 30%, but I'm getting Glenallachie out of this. I definitely could pull that out of this. Beautiful, nice. Absolutely beautiful.
The overall's giving me some chocolate custard notes.
Yeah, apple
what was that? What was that, John?
Chocolate custard. Getting
I get that. Yeah, for sure.
That's North British. The cocoa coming out of the North British, I think.
Creaminess to it as well, but yeah, it's funny with the Glenallachie as well. It's something slightly ironic about it being Glenallachie and Woodford Reserve casks when
absolutely
drawn off taken over by Brown Foreman and things, and then it's Glenallachie and Woodford Reserve. So it's quite funny.
It's so noticeable, you know. Some of the whiskey. What I find with these is sometimes you get a really good nose and then it really doesn't live up to it, and the palate or the nose is not so good, and then the palate comes through. But I think all of these, they're all delivering nose, palate, and even finishes are decent as well. So yeah, tip my hat to you, mate, though. Well put
Thanks,
together.
Alan. Always get kind of asked if Turntable has a kind of signature style, and obviously being a blending house, I would say like the range is diverse is one of the nice things about what we do, that we can have such a diverse range of styles and flavors. But probably if we had a trait that I would hope is running through the range is just the depth of flavor. I would hope none are one-dimensional. They all have different layers to pull back and uncover, and hopefully, as you say, that finish is pretty interesting to explore.
Yeah. Where's the leather? I'm getting leather on this. Where's the leather coming from on this?
Probably the Limousin, I would say, that kind of French oak. European oak.
Yeah. They all know it's fresh and bright and clean, and
I was
you get those kind of these are all kind of nice clean noses. I'm hoping I get to the end ones of these, they start getting a wee bit dirty on the nose, but these are all wonderful.
Nice. I love Balblair as well. I quite often think it's a bit of an underrated gem. I think there's some great Balblair whiskey.
Yeah,
Balblair's one of them. They kind of went away, but when they rebranded, repackaging and all that, I think people kind of fell out a wee bit with them. But I think they've caught back up again. I think, I think the way the pricings went, I think they were the first to kind of hike the pricing at Balblair, changed the branding, because I think their branding was great initially, those little nice magnetic boxes and all that. And
I loved it, and they had the vintages instead of the year. Like I quite liked all that.
Yeah,
as well.
vintage. Yeah, it was all good, and then all of a sudden, is this somebody came in and had a brain fart and just changed it all? Changed it all. Well, it's the old thing is don't change. Nothing's broke, then don't fix it. And I think that's where they kind of lost the plot a wee bit for me. I don't know if it was just a change of management or change of something. But
no, it's fair. I think the liquid is always very good, has always been good, continues to be. But marketing, see a lot of change going on just now in the industry. Like the number of rebrands from different single malts just now is, I feel like it's every other week you see a new rebrand, and I'm not always sure it is a big.
Is that no for me? Is that no? There's a cost to that, isn't there?
Oh, there's a big cost to that. Absolutely.
And I'm always wondering why they always do it if there's a cost. They all kind of 1 minute you've got like Ben Romack, have got theirs, and then all of a sudden they've changed it, and sometimes it is baffling as to why they do some of it.
I think the bit
it's funny add costs.
The bit that's frustrated me with it a little recently is I feel like a lot have kind of gone in the same direction. Just in the last few years.
You think they're fighting for shelf? You think they're fighting for shelf space?
Just
trying to look at how it looks on the shelf.
For sure, and
somebody's had a.
Yeah, and so there would be lots of different elements as to how it looks on the shelf, how it looks on the back bar. Does it stand out? Is it easy to read, easy to see?
Yeah.
But I feel like we've kind of ended up with quite a generic black font on white label, sort of pastel colours. I don't know. I feel like it can all be very safe. So yeah,
that doesn't work for me. When I go into the pot still, that doesn't work for me. I just see all them bottles just piled up behind that bar, and you're trying to figure out where you're going to go next, man. That's kind of different, kind of the shop shelves, but. When you see that bar behind the pot still, it's just it's a minefield, isn't it?
Have you been up in Glasgow about recently?
I'm trying to think when I was up last. When were we up last year? We were up February. I think we were up in February, weren't we?
February, yeah.
Yeah, we were up in February. Did a few days in February.
Had a couple in Monaco, obviously, before they close.
Yeah. and I'm up in. I'm going to the Air Festival at the end of the month. Is it Air? You were at Air last time, weren't you?
Good question. I need to. So we do some work with
I
the
think
guys.
Gordon was there last time, I think.
That's right. He's been there the last 2 years. I need to check with him, so I'll check with Gordon and the guys. So obviously Jamie and the guys at Living Souls, Kilminian. They do.
Yeah, I think you share the tables, don't you? Share the tables, don't you? So yeah. Okay. Any plans down the line, distillery wise? Are you looking that way? Are you looking to maybe produce your own spirit? Any plans?
No, not. I mean, for one thing, I don't think we could afford it. But
Yeah.
I think no. To be honest, like I think there's enough. There's enough people doing their new distilleries and doing single malt.
You could just convert your garage.
Yeah, you could.
Just convert your garage nowadays, can you?
But I like the thought of us trying to bring something to the game that is not elsewhere. So, like, I don't know. I sometimes think like with independent bottling and things, like there's definitely some interesting things we could do on single cask if it makes sense at the right time. But in general, there's enough independent bottlers out there, and I don't think we bring anything truly fresh and exciting to the area. Whereas, honestly, like just trying to play a part in changing the way people look at blends, I think it gives both of us sort of energy, excitement, passion, go and get it type thing. But never say never. But with your own distillery, I wouldn't say it's on the agenda or on the priority list right now. But as I said, I'm not. We couldn't afford it just now anyway to set up, and the cost of running a new distillery right now would make me pretty nervous. In all honesty, I'm quite grateful we don't have the overhead right now.
Ali, I asked you the same question in Soho, but I'm going to ask you the same question now. Because you're so focused and brilliant to hear that on wood management, I wish everybody was, and cask management. Has there been a time, or can you see a time that you're going to get a cask come through which is so superb, mind-blowing, that you're going to bottle it as a single cask?
It's definitely a good question. It's one that Gordon and I have been in discussion, and just the last few months, what would that look like if we were to do it? So basically, the thinking with Turntable is that every blend that we create, we want the final blend to be more interesting, more flavoursome than any of the individual component casks. And obviously, when you're working with great casks, it's fantastic. It's a great opportunity, but it's also a challenge. And if there is like truly exceptional casks that I would prefer us just to showcase the way they are, then I think there's no reason for us not to look at doing that. But it would be a small part of what we do. What we do will remain to be focused on blends, but if we do release something as a single cask, I would say to you guys, like, make sure to check it out, because we would only do that if we think it is truly stand out the way it is.
Good.
Well, I'm quite close by, Ali, so I can always nip over and just check it for you. Not a problem.
There we go. No worries, man.
I'll let the boys know. It's fine.
You might have to lay a wee kind of single bed out for him, mate, because he tends to nod off every now and again once he's got a few whiskies in him. You know,
Surprised he's awake still, you know that. I'm surprised he's still awake.
Is that before or after the drums?
Right, well, this next one, guys, this, to be fair, was my favourite turntable. This next one.
Trying to remember. We're on the cast strength.
Harder, better, faster, stronger.
There's somebody in the chat who I know would like this. James McGurn. He'd love this.
I tell you this one here. Let's get a thing here. Looks like it's all first fill as well, man. So Tamdu first fill Oloroso, 26%. Dalmunuk first fill bourbon, 21%. Mannock Moore, 18% first fill bourbon. 22% Girvan first fill bourbon. and 13% Girvan ex Marsala barrels. The only word I can describe for this, Ali, is this is fucking dangerous, man. This whiskey, 59. I think this is the biggest one, isn't it? 59.1.
Yeah, it's the only. So we've done some. See on the next few, we've done a few sort of higher ABV, but this is the only one that we've done natural strength, like no dilution at all.
This drink's like 46%, man.
So
You've
really
written
interesting.
46 on the bottle.
It is 46%. That's why.
Well, it's not 40.
This is 59.1.
Oh, it's because Alan put 46% because he's old and he's getting a bit forgetful.
Well, people don't brag. Yeah, no, this is 59.1. This is, man.
I think you've been diluting that to keep more for yourself.
No, this is. Let me see this. I'm fit to buy another one.
That's what I like to see.
This is just that good to me. I just bought another one.
Ah, super.
This is the whiskey. Sorry, this was the whiskey. One of the whiskies that he's called Shaggable before.
I don't know, but this is get every descriptor in the world, mate. This.
I think this is my favourite to date. This is my favourite.
I won't ask for the bottle back.
My favourite.
No, I was going to say it's interesting you said that it drinks at a lower strength than you'd expect.
This is crazy. This is crazy, man.
When you do tastings,
maybe I was tasting this while I was bottling it, and I thought it was 46%. Maybe that's what I got wrong.
Maybe
I think this is going to be 46. This, but
people sometimes, like, obviously you get some people who love cask strength, single cask kind of whiskies, and you get some people when they see the 59% will think, "Oh, that's punchy," but
oh no, this is dangerous, man. This is a dangerous draft.
But no, I'd always say, like, people in a tasting, like, taste it neat, and then if you want to add a drop of water or whatever, like, no problem. But it's exactly what you said. The strength is 59.1. But if I were tasting this blind, I think I would guess more like sort of 52, 53, definitely.
Yeah, definitely low 50s.
59. Yeah,
definitely.
But kind of built around the Tamdhu Oloroso cask. So Tamdhu and sherry always goes really, really well together. And then you've got the Dalmanach bourbon, and then the older grain, the Girvan 20 and 21-year-old in bourbon and Marsala. I'd say, like, on the nose, loads of toffee, like really, really sort of strong on the toffee. And then you get into the kind of, on the palate, more the chocolate almonds, the peaches, vanilla, creaminess, quite explosive, but still seems to be really well balanced. But it's definitely been a popular one. So there's still stock available and things to buy in the UK, but from our end, like from the Turntable side, we're out. Like we don't have any more. We're gone.
No, this is a really, really balanced dram. It's fantastic.
Every time I drink this, Ali, it's different. It tastes different, and it's always great, man. But there's sometimes I get the peachy thing, sometimes I get a wee bit of nutty thing, sometimes I get a jammy thing. It just depends. I think it might just depend on your mood. I think this is a real nice mood whiskey. I think. How you doing, Gav? Thanks for dropping by, mate. Are you keeping? Oh, Gav, I think he's just reviewed your whiskey, and did you see it?
Is what? Sorry.
He's just reviewed. Did you give him a whiskey when you were up? He's just reviewed your your Kilkerran one. Kilkerran port. You gave him a Kilkerran port sample. He thinks it's you that gave him it.
I might have done. I can't remember.
Well, you're not getting it back.
It's the one that you bought.
How was the review?
Yeah, I think he's reviewed it. He didn't like it. He didn't like the port. He says he thinks he could drink it, but you couldn't drink a lot of it. You know. But yeah, good old Gav, man.
He didn't give
But
it
yeah,
up,
no,
Shingle.
this is by far my favourite so far. I've not really done much with it. I'm hoping this Dingle's going to kind of set me alight a wee bit. So I'm looking forward to that one.
I have a suspicion that one's going to be up your street, Alan. I think that's your kind of DRAM for sure.
That Dingle.
Would you go for high ABV whiskies in general? Like, is that
Yes.
is that
yes, I like them
preference?
high.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to this second half. I'm getting into the peak, but I think not jumping ahead here, but you've got a lot of sweet peak going on here, man. So that's kind of up my alley. I like the kind of sweet peak stuff.
Yeah, I would say even when we're working with the peats, like it tends to be pretty balanced. Like it's not. There's a lot that are quite sort of bold, punchy, aggressive on the peat. It's like trying to really give you the smack, but we tend to try and keep it pretty balanced.
Yes, I'm still alive and kicking, Daniel. How are you keeping, mate? Nice to see you again.
Yeah, no, superb whiskey there, Ali. Lovely.
Thanks, Mayor. Thanks, man.
Oh man, I almost don't want to go to the next one, mate.
Oh, are we going to
almost
next?
Want to just, almost want to just sit here and just play around with this one again. But Dingle's up next.
We're gonna do the Dingle next.
Dingle's up next.
It still certainly holds its own, and even though the ABV is lower, it'll still stand up to the track 5. The Dingle, I'm pretty confident will be up your street.
Ali, who does the blending? Who does the blending, Ali? Both of you or one of you?
So it is. I mean, both of us are involved in everything, but I would say on the blending side, it's probably more me when it comes to the first part of the blending and the sort of liquid side of things. So I would do a lot of that, and the commercial sales and marketing, tastings, distributor visits and things. Gordon would be more on the operational side, so purchasing the cask from different distilleries, organising the wood from different cooperages, the re-racks, the dry goods, the bottlings, that kind of thing. But usually on the blending, I would do the first part and get it to a point that I think we're close, and then Gordon and I and one or two others would be involved in the final tweaks.
Do you ever disagree? Do you ever disagree big time?
No. It's funny because we'd never worked together before we started, so not even from a blending point of view, just from a business point of view, I was we are close brothers, so I was a bit nervous to bring a work dynamic into the relationship, but it's gone pretty well. I think the main thing that we can both say is like stuff goes wrong, like when it comes to bottlings and any kind of production runs and things, like the stuff goes wrong with labels arriving late or faulty corks, or just like there's stuff that happens. But I think the main thing is that we both trust each other. You're both kind of solution focused instead of problem focused, and like when somebody does make a mistake or something goes wrong, like it's with the best intentions and you just kind of move forward. So no, in general, it's been really good working together. But on the liquid side, we're both quite similar taste, to be honest. Even when I said the track 1 was kind of my style of whiskey, Gordon probably is quite that way as well. The lighter, fruitier, older grain, that kind of style. If he was just having a DRAM at home, he's probably quite similar.
I always compared you to them Thompson brothers, man. You never ever used to see you in the same room, man. I always thought there was only one of you. Never seen them together, man. It's
only
like
on the golf course.
You never seen it, 1 or 2 together either. There's always one. You wonder where the other one is. But I always thought, until I came up last year and saw you in the same room, that's what convinced me there was 2 of you.
We kind of said to each other, what it's like. There's a small company and there's a lot of places to be, work to be done, markets to visit.
Absolutely.
And things. So we kind of taken the divide and conquer approach that most of the time we wouldn't be at the same place, same tasting and things. That would be the exception.
Yeah. You got into global markets quite early up. You're out in overseas and
it was kind of it was a bit of our, both of us had that background a little through years working in the industry, that we were quite well connected, good network of good distributors around a lot of key markets. So we're in about 15 markets today, mainly Europe, pockets of Asia, and out in Canada. So like in Asia would be Japan, Hong Kong, Korea, Taiwan, and then a lot of the European markets: Germany, France, Switzerland, Poland, Netherlands, Nordics, UK, of course. But two of the big ones that we've not touched yet, which is probably deliberate at this point, is the US and China. Just both behemoth markets and complicated economic situation just now as well, that we just kind of think there's enough.
Are you bottling enough to do all those markets? Because it's most of your stuff small batch.
I mean, it is small batch, but we're in a good stock position that we can scale and grow the brands properly. So, like right now, we would do, I mean, limited releases. We'd be doing, I don't know, about trying to think, about 2,000 bottles or so usually for a limited edition.
Yeah.
On a core range batch. Each batch we're probably about the 5,000 bottle mark just now. But I mean, we own about 1,400 casks or so today. So we are we're in a position where things are going nicely. We're very happy, but we, like, on the core range, we have the stock there available for us to support sensible growth. Like we couldn't turn it into something ridiculous. Like, we couldn't take it to 100,000 cases overnight. As much as I would love to do that, we don't have the stock to do that. But we can sensible, sustainable growth. We can achieve.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to, so I'm going to Miami in the summer. So what to do is just give me some samples. I'll take them over, distribute, and we'll conquer. I
feel confidence in you, mate. Honestly, full.
And if you're not in Sweden, we need to talk.
Yeah, we only started in Sweden about 6 months ago, actually. But so I mean, obviously, it's quite a complicated market, and there is all government controlled, Systembolaget and things. But there's a lot of the whiskey clubs that you can sort of do private importation and do directly and things. So we're sort of focusing.
But America's like that, isn't it? America's like that. It's all different states and
exactly. And so I think
different.
there's probably about 30% of the states are government controlled, so similar to what we're talking about in the Nordics. But I think, I mean, is one market that I'm not that experienced in. Gordon's got more experience than me, but I suspect if we did go into the States anytime soon, it would be focusing on like 1 or 2 key states. It wouldn't be focusing on 50. Like, I think we would, Is that you poured the next one?
There you go.
Nice. So the one that you just poured there, the Dingo collaboration, it's quite cool that we basically had this thought that it would be interesting to do some blending beyond borders in Scotland. So do some blending with international distilleries who we think are making really good whiskey, doing exciting things, pushing boundaries, similar sort of philosophy to whiskey as what we have. So we've done, the first one we did was with an Australian distillery called Starward. This one here is the second with a Dingle distillery in Ireland. So really, really cool distillery. They're located on very, very far west coast of Ireland. I think they are technically the most westerly distillery in Europe. They're one of the first independent Irish distilleries to produce single pot still for like over 100 years. So single pot still Irish whiskey is still barley, water and yeast, still pot still distillation, but it's a combination between malted and unmalted barley. So obviously in Scotch whiskey, it's all malted barley. So having that proportion of unmalted barley is totally different from us. Like it's quite interesting. So we've taken that single pot still style in Oloroso sherry casks that makes up 41% of the blend, I think.
41. I'll give you the breakdown, mate. It's 41% Oloroso,
Yeah.
29 Balmain, PX first fill PX punching, 12% Blair Athol, first fill rye barrels, which is interesting, man. And then 18% Loman grain first fill bourbon barrels.
Yeah, so the thinking there was basically with that single pot still style, you get some of these really interesting spice notes and slightly herbal notes. So you'll see, like, in this, it is a big sherry mature style whiskey. So there's similarities between this and the Bittersweet Symphony, but obviously the strength on this is quite a bit higher at 52%. But also that Dingle style, you do get more of those sort of earthy, slightly minty, pine needle. You still get the dark chocolate, maybe the coffee, but with that, we had the Balmenic and the PX sort of to dial up that sweetness just a bit. Blair Athol and the rye cask, which you highlighted there, Alan, like just playing into that spice that's already there, keeping it really vibrant. And then the older grain.
I always tend to get that minty thing from rye, them rye casks. I always tend to get that kind of spearminty, toothpastey. Heading into that kind of herbal stuff as well with the rye.
I actually found the tasting note of this one. I liked it really early, but I found it quite difficult to try and verbalize it or explain what I would taste on it. But somebody mentioned to me after eights, and it kind of stuck with me about that sort of dark chocolate with the mintiness coming through. I get quite a lot, but I mean all the casks, all the samples we've tasted from the guys at Dingo. If you've not checked them out, I would as well. I think they're making really good whiskey, and they're great guys.
That eucalyptus note as well, man. Eucalyptus. Get a wee bit of eucalyptus.
I think it's suggestive because you've put down marzipan and nutmeg with the belt of Blair Athol. Absolutely marzipan all over. I'm getting marzipan.
Yeah, it's chocolate nuts as well, but it's chocolate minty nuts, I think.
Like a fresh nutmeg, just grated.
Yeah.
It even smells heavy. You know, it smells heavy.
Exactly. Again, that is really heavy. It's really chewy, really full body. It's been a big hit, this one. So I mean,
he's not one to be rushed. This is you play with this one for a night. You don't rush this one.
We entered the whiskies into a few of the competitions. So the core range did really well. So the Bittersweet Symphony last year, I think it won Best Blended Whiskey at the Scotch Whisky Awards and the World Whisky Awards, which was really cool, especially when you look at the category. It was very cool. But the Dingo one is a bit more niche in that it's not blended Scotch whisky, it's blended world whisky. But it won World's Best at that as well, which was cool. But there was a few challenges for us on this one, in that I knew we wouldn't be able to call it blended Scotch whisky because it's not, so that makes sense. It would be blended whisky, but I didn't realise we wouldn't be allowed to blend it in Scotland. So we had to find a different solution for that. So it's a blend between Irish and Scottish whisky, but blended and bottled in Germany.
See, you're still blending it without the E in whiskey. You're still done it as the whiskey.
Yeah,
I was just about to ask that.
That's okay now, yeah, it's fine.
You could go either way on that one.
Yeah, okay. You chose the right one, mate.
Did you not bring this to London, Ali? Did you bring this down to London?
I can't remember.
I think you did. I think we tried that.
I honestly can't remember.
I think we did. Really good.
It's so interesting. So interesting.
I think you did.
Oh, yeah. I wonder how long it would take him to get the polluted thing in, man. He's on a... Pete Head's got a wine pollution complex, Ali.
All right, okay. I was trying to work this one out. I don't quite know where we're going here. So.
Yeah, he doesn't do the wine pollution. Okay. Hates wines casks.
To be fair, there's not been any sherry wine. It's not massively, is it? None of it's very sherry. It's there, but it's not a blast.
No, I mean, I think sherry casks are a big part of the industry today, but I completely agree. They should be used not cautiously, but just with thought. Like I think there's sometimes today that they can be used a bit thoughtlessly. That it's like thin spirit.
I think some of them are just. I think there's this thing that. I think there's the thing that a lot of them get used to cover up poor distilling. You know, I think that's where a lot of the thinking's get in, that they're just throwing some wine in there or some Oloroso in to try and save the distillate, you know. But
no, that's probably a fair comment. It's one that Billy used to always say to me. It was he said just basically with whiskey, you can't have a good whiskey without both being good. The spirit has to be good.
Yeah.
So you can't have a good whiskey with bad spirit and good casks. You can't have a good whiskey with good spirit and bad casks. You need both. That's the way it is.
There you go. It's like saying. No great polishing for me.
Is that Frank being a politician?
Does that include sherry cask as well? That's not just port red wine.
No, that's sherry itself for him.
That's sherry. That's the word.
Yeah, all of it, mate. All of it, mate. Oloroso and PX and all of it, mate.
No, that's interesting. That does narrow it down quite a lot. Like I'm a big lover of simple bourbon matured whiskey, hogshead, second fill bourbon. Like I love that kind of style. But that certainly narrows it down a bit.
Yeah, he's from Pete's from the Netherlands, so he'll just tell you how it is. No mucking about.
Yeah, no, we spend a lot of time out in the Netherlands. That's one of our biggest markets. So out there about 4 or 5 times a year. So enjoy.
We know why you're out there, Ali. Don't worry about that.
I'm getting that after 8 mint thing now, mate. You've just planted it in my head, man. I think if you go looking for it, you can find it.
Do you know it's funny? It's sometimes why I'm not a huge fan of the tasting notes side of things. Basically, because of exactly what you said. Once something's planted in your head,
it's in there, you can find it. You know, and you. I'm amazed at how sippable they all are, and how well balanced they all are as well. Every one of them, there's nothing where the balance is off. I think that they're all pretty much holding their own. They're all probably doing what they say they do on the tin. So I don't think you get any surprises. I think that everything's up there. You're up front. It's fantastic. This is nice. We're going to have some time whizzing through this one, mate, and really getting to know this one. Thanks for sending it.
No,
I'm sure the lads will be enjoying it as well. There's Hamish. Hamish is in.
I did.
Hamish is just off. He must be just off the golf course.
I was at Dornoch today.
Oh, was he?
That sounds quite nice.
Yeah, he's got a tough job, Highland Hamish. A tough job.
Just been in.
And Ali, well done for keeping prices so keen as well, because your prices, just keep them keen. It's fantastic, refreshing.
Thanks, mate. Say, again, like I think we want it always to be drinking whiskey, and we want anyone who buys a bottle. I always want them to think after they've opened it, after they've tried it, finished it. I want them to think that was really good value. That was really good quality for the price I paid. Would happily look at doing that again.
I think that's a Thompson Brothers motto as well. I think they put it out at prices that they know they're going to get cracked open and they're going to get drunk.
They do a really good job of that. And do you know? I mean, I think during the pandemic time, especially, like the industry got a bit detached from what good value is at times. There was just too many limited releases coming in at crazy prices where the quality didn't match the price. But in a way, like with people being more cautious with their spending and times being a wee bit more difficult just now, it's maybe not the worst thing in the world. In that I think you need to be good. Like people, the quality now, the value, it has to stand up. as people are going to be selective with how they spend. So I think it's really important.
Absolutely.
And there's 10% off if you subscribe on the website now.
What was that, sorry, Alan?
10% off if you subscribe on your website now, isn't it?
Yep.
You mean you've not subscribed already, Al?
No, I buy from other places normally, but I just pop on the website.
If you have it, I think there is a. I'm not certain. I think there is a code live just now that is when you're checking out TT10. I think it's 10%. So try that.
Well, I've already done it.
Good man.
What have you bought, Al? What have you bought?
Oh, I had to go harder and faster and stronger.
Nice man.
I've had a few before, but I've not had that one, so that'll be belting.
It's definitely worth grabbing because it's one that is going to disappear quite soon. There's not going to be it won't be around for that much longer.
Well, this is my third bottle of it. The first bottle, I tell you what, you actually sent me a sample of this for review. And what I'd done is I usually taste it before I do the review. And then I realised when I came to do the review, I'd none left. So then I had to go and buy a bottle. So I went out and bought a bottle and I smashed through that as well. And then I thought, I'm going to get another one. So I picked another one. I was halfway through this when this tasting came up. And then I've passed the load out to the other guys when I realised my bottles got low again. So I've bought a third one.
I think I'll probably need to owe you one there, Alan. That sounds very good. Very good deal for me. I send you a 100ml sample and you buy 3 bottles, so don't try that.
It's smashing stuff, man. Yes, you need to send me more 100ml samples, mate. But,
no worries.
See, I think I did. This was the first one you sent me.
That was the first set of core.
And this is. I've still got some of the original core ones left, so. I've got a chance. Maybe I might be able to compare these and really see. I had a wee taste of the Bittersweet Symphony, and it's just slightly different. But
no, it'd be good. Curious to hear.
Still on the same track. Yeah.
You have a preference?
Yeah, no. No, I think I prefer this second one to the first one.
I mean, I would say, like in general, I would hope that the longer we've had control of the stock and the wood management and things, if anything, I would hope that we're moving in a positive direction. So, like, I would certainly be looking forward to stepping forward.
So, next one up, guys. Fire starter.
It's quite cool. So, I mean, you're going like this and the track 1. So this is track 2 for us. So it was one of the first releases as well. So we're going back to some stuff that has not come across my desk for a while. So it's cool to talk about it again. But that's one of the.
This is cool. So this one, 40% Kalila, Virgin Oak, 23% Cameron Bridge, Virgin Oak. 22% Ben Rennis, Chinkapin, 15% Invergordon, Virgin. So there's a lot of Virgin Oak.
Yeah. This one's really about the smoke, the vanilla, toffee, wood spice. Yeah,
it's like 60-40 malt and grain, I think. Yeah.
Again, I think the grains are up at that sort of 22, 23, but I think this would be one of the younger malts that we've used, and the Kalila, I think, is 8. I mentioned most of the malts that we use are sort of over 10 to 15. I think the Kalila on this was 8, but you can probably taste that. It's a wee bit punchier.
No, the Kalila sticks out.
Yeah, and then, like, it's funny because, like, you usually think of age as positive and getting better, and it certainly can be a lot of the time, but I sometimes think it just depends with peated whiskey what you're looking for. So obviously the older the whiskey gets with peated whiskey, the softer the smoke gets. It becomes sort of slightly gentler and more integrated. Whereas
these are more sweeter. This is a kind of sweet peat for me.
Yeah, for this we wanted the Kalila still to be quite punchy, quite vibrant. So it's 8 years old was a bit of a sweet spot for us, but yeah, I mean, you're still. What did we say the Kalila is? 40%? Did you say that?
40%.
Yeah, so
40% Kalila.
yeah, I mean, you're still talking 40% peated and 60% unpeated, so it's still not like blow your head off. It's still pretty well balanced. But yeah, this one was fire starter after the Prodigy, obviously. So yeah, quite cool song, and obviously tying into the smoke, but also sort of the, I don't know, rebellious nature of the Prodigy and going against the rules and things. Obviously, when we launched Turntable, it felt like the small blend, transparency, full details was sort of going against the norm.
I thought when this was going to be Firestarter, it was going to be all over the place. It was just going to be ratty and whizzing round and couldn't make any sense of it. And, you know, it's just been madness.
Aye.
Again, it's super well balanced again, man. But, took my hat to your blending, mate.
Oh, thank you, mate. I appreciate it.
Nearly as good as my Infinity bottle.
How's that coming on?
It's nearly as good as that one. I've just found I've lost. I was cleaning my wardrobe. I've got it at the bottom of my wardrobe, and it's got one of them little taps on it. And I must have nicked the tap. I've lost quite a bit of it, but it's
we all believe that. We all believe that.
I've got a peed one.
How do you go about the Infinity bottle? What is it? Just heels?
So what I might do is I might do what I used to do was the heels, but what I tend to do now is I'll do the neck pose rather than the heels. But I had a sherry one. And I had a peated one, so I've got kind of two in a minute. So
I was doing an online tasting. It was a while ago. It was like, I don't know, 2.5 years ago or something, and it was one of the topics was Infinity bottles, and it's quite interesting. It was just a group like I never realised how many different approaches people would take to Infinity bottles. I thought it was exactly what you said, Alan. I thought it would be sort of the heels, the heads, just a bit of fun, but somewhere full on spreadsheets.
Some measuring it,
moving on
Absolutely.
to something else, tracking it, and I felt like there was some of the others as well, where it was like just a genuine bottle of like life events. So it was like birth of first child, wedding anniversary, big birthday. What were you drinking on each of the days, and becoming an Infinity bottle? That's pretty cool.
It becomes madness. Because I'm reviewing quite a few. I'm opening quite a lot of whiskies, and there's that for me is a perfect way of just kind of getting rid of what's left over, or sometimes you just think if something's really nice and it's going to go in, I'll just pop it. I think that'll go well in there. You know, if I'm opening maybe a 20-year-old Glengoyne or something, I thought I might put a wee bit of that 20 or 25-year-old Glengoyne in there, just to kind of help it along. But I'm not the spreadsheet guy, and I'm not the kind of. It'll just be what happens, and it ends up where it ends up. It's, you know, there's no kind of science to it.
And most of the time, are you pretty happy? It's pretty good drinking whiskey.
Yeah, well, I've tasted it a few times, and it seems to have gone doing okay. So yeah, it's been all right.
Nice.
Maybe they're just being nice to me, you know. But yeah, no, I quite like it. The sherry ones is a bomb, man. That's a belter. I should bottle it.
What's gone into it?
Oh, there's loads in there, mate. There's Glengoyne 25, there's Old Pulteney 21 in it, there's Old Pulteney 17, there's all sorts of stuff get in there, man.
Stuff. Some really good stuff. Yeah.
A lot of good stuff in, but the sherry one is definitely the kind of some real nice, because I've been a bit of a sherry head, there's a lot of nice sherries in there. The old Glendronach 18 and the old Glendronach 15 Revival, the original one, they're all in there, man. Good stuff. So good stuff, mate. I'm just trying to think what's a few bits of Edredale, some nice Edredales in there. There's a lot of good stuff.
Some great stuff, man.
How do you find the Chinkapin? Chinkapin's really interesting.
It's so I mean, I hadn't really come across it before until started working with Glenallachie. So I mean, today I think you see it occasionally. Rassy do it a bit as well, Glenallachie, and you see it a little more now. But I always think about it as quite similar to Virgin Oak, just coming from Missouri, and slightly different.
But it's from the Ozarks,
varieties.
isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, Missouri.
It's over in the Ozarks.
Yeah. But I mean, flavor-wise, I always think similar to Virgin Oak, but just a bit more of that kind of peppery spice. So you still get the sort of vanilla, the toffee, but slightly spicier for me. But it's becoming quite a fashionable one to work with.
So is that old wood, that chinkapin? Are them old trees
No,
that they're taking that from?
Fresh oak. Yeah, fresh oak.
Are they?
Virgin. Yeah. I just just a specific species of virgin oak. So it's you still get a lot of that sort of virgin oak style.
Yeah, Daniel does his infinity bottles just with neck pours.
Nice.
Neck pours only.
As I said, yeah, cool to get you guys tasting the fire starter though as well. As this, that's a.
That's
Been gone from us for a while, so it's.
It's still out there, Ali. I've just seen it. It's out there. I won't name the shops, but there's in 2 shops that I've looked straight away. It's in stock still.
Yeah, the one I think you could probably still find the odd bottle of Track 1 the occasional place as well. I don't think you'd find any of the Track 3. I think the Purple Haze is gone. I wouldn't know where to find that.
You'd be auctions where you'd probably get that, Ali.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably.
Sort of, maybe on an auction site. But yeah.
It's Track 2 I'm looking at.
That's so different. That's so different for the rest of them, isn't it? That's where the peak's kicking in now, man.
That's right. Yeah, for sure. I thought you were meaning the Purple Haze there. I'll say, interestingly, the Bittersweet Symphony was kind of based off the Purple Haze, the Track 3. So there's definite similarity there.
And if there's still fire starters to be found, I'll be ordering a bottle.
Nice man. Dave can tell you where to find it, which I can't.
Yeah. I'll tell you backstage.
This should be up your street, Al. This the fire starter as well should be up your road, mate. You like the peaty stuff, don't you?
Sure we do. I love it.
I like that. That's a good dram, that, for me.
Yeah. Smoky, sweet. Perfect.
You want good? Wait till the next one. All-time favourite.
Told me the Smoking Riff was your favourite. You change your favourite every
I told you.
told me the Smoking Riff was your favourite.
See, in fairness, Al, I think I would do the Smoking Riff first before the Track 7.
Alright, you want to do the Smoking Riff? We'll jump ahead one then. Yeah, you do Smoking Riff.
I would do that.
But we'll get yeah.
Cool.
Are you waking up, John? Been told to wake you up, mate.
Wasn't when I was asleep.
I haven't seen Purple Haze in a while.
I tried Purple Haze in Amsterdam.
Cheers,
Is it still? Would you still get it there?
What's that?
Would you? Oh right, sorry, I missed that. I was thinking. I was actually thinking the Netherlands because of the bottle. Sorry, fair enough.
Yeah. No, Daniel's out in Canada. Daniel, have you come across any turntable in Canada?
Sorry.
There's a couple of guys in Canada in at the minute, Alex. So let's see if they've seen any of it out there.
So out in we're not in Ontario, Quebec, or eastern part, but out in Alberta and a little bit in BC as well. You get out there, but Calgary, Edmonton, and things. So you get out there. So I think I'm heading out to the west of Canada in a couple of weeks.
Yes, he has. So they're getting it.
Good stuff.
Ali, do you know if you're going to the Hopscotch Independent Bottling Festival in Liverpool? I think
I don't know. When's that one?
I think it's in September.
Oh, nice. I don't know. We've not done that one before, no.
It's the first time it's been done.
Okay. It's a good one?
Well, it's first time, so we don't know, but I like the dude that runs Hopscotch. So, and I've got tickets, so I'll be going.
Who's that, Ian? Who's running it?
I can't remember. I can't remember the guy's name. It is on the 28th. Sorry, 28th of November. I think he's called Chris or something like that, but I could be completely wrong with that.
So Liverpool, eh?
Yes. Hopscotch is a bar, and they're doing an independent bottling festival.
It's cool.
First time they've done it, so it's not something that they've done before. So
sounds really good. Yeah, sounds really good. It'd be cool for one that. Yeah, it'd be cool for us to be part of as well. Was like, obviously, we're quite similar to an independent bottler, but not similar, if you know what I mean. So yeah.
Then I will find the guy's name.
Nice.
That was nice. Fire starter. I'm not a peat guy, but again, that was kind of balanced, full-bodied. If that'd be right, the full-bodied be right.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the smoking riff that we'll go on to next as well. I mean, similar in that you get the smoke, but it's still pretty balanced. But this time more with the sherry side than with the virgin oak. So the fire starter is a little punchier. The smoking riff is more like sort of 30%. I think very, very close to 30%. In the blend from Kalila, and then the other 70% is mainly sherry cask. Trying to remember.
This smoky riff has got first fill bourbon, first fill Pedro Jimenez, virgin oak, and red wine barrels.
Yeah. And the first batch, the PX, would be Craig Ellicky and Ben Runnis, I think. And then
I can tell you what that is. First batch was not do PX.
Okay.
Not do PX 21%, 18% Kalila bourbon barrel, 24% Craig Ellicky PX punching, and 9% Kalila red wine barrel, and 28% North British.
Nice.
So that was that one.
Yeah, for me on this one, you kind of get that Kalila salty campfire smoke at the front, but I mean, even you said, Alan, you're not that big a peated whiskey guy, but I still think this one will be up your street, and that after.
I like the sweet. I like the sweet peat. That's right up my street, sweet peat.
So I would say after
the pungent stuff I can't get, man. It's the
TCP iodine kind of thing.
Oh, that stuff, man. That medicinal. This sweet stuff is.
Yeah, it's quite a different style, but
the grapes definitely help it. The grapes definitely help it.
Yeah, for this as well. Like once I would still say that the first taste is quite punchy on the smoke, but then the second taste, the third taste, it just softens and becomes much more about the sherry cask, about the PX, the chocolate, the sort of dry fruits, the raisins, the dates, but just that combination between the smoke and the sweeter sherry cask notes, I think goes really, really well.
So the thing what I've got here is I've wrote down the peat's no dominant. It's just there.
Aye.
It's everywhere, but you're getting all the other stuff. You're getting the kind of the chocolate, get a wee bit of berry fruit. But it's still got that peaty grilled meat, smoked ham, that kind of stuff there.
Again, but for me, it's almost like quite similar to what I said on the sherry cask stuff earlier. Like I like peated whiskey, I like sherry cask matured whiskey, but I don't like when they're one-dimensional. I don't like when peated whiskey is just a competition who can make the smokiest whiskey, the highest
Yeah.
PPM, and it's just that's all it is. Whereas I think if you can produce a peated whiskey where the smoke is an aspect of the dram, and there are other elements, there's different layers to dive into underneath that smoke. That's where it becomes really interesting to me. But, yeah.
Ali, forget Chris. It's not Chris. The guy's called Matt.
Okay.
Completely different. Not even starts with the same letter.
I'll check out. Thanks, mate.
No worries. Quite spicy.
Bit
This one.
salty this as well.
Yeah.
Salty. We've got nutmeg and peppery. I don't know if that's the kind of. It's peppery, but it's salty.
Yeah, I still think you get that kind of the slightly salty sea breeze campfire smoke from the Kahlila, but
Yeah.
It softens the further you go on.
Yeah, salted caramel in the second sip. It gets a bit, bit of cinnamon in there.
I tell you, I was watching a live stream last night, and Michael Henry was on it, and he was talking about Glen Scotia. How everybody says that Glen Scotia has that salty maritime thing. The notes he sees everybody putting down is salty. And he says there's no sodium in it. There's no salt. It's just, and they were wondering where the salty thing comes from. So whether it's people being influenced by people saying, "Oh, it's salty," He says there's nothing salty about Glen Scotia. He says, but it must come through the air or the sea breeze or that kind of air get to the casks. But he says it was really interesting watching him, man. And all the guys are saying it's salty. And he says there's no salt in it.
Mind you, it's only a stone's throw from the sea, isn't it? Literally. So they store it. So.
So it must be where they just barrel it up, yeah.
Yeah. I'll say that's probably more to do with the maturation conditions, but
Yeah. But Michael's always a bit geeky, man. I love it when he's geeky, man. He goes all geeky.
I've had the pleasure of doing a tasting with him in Loch Lomond.
Yeah, I call him the man.
Oh
He's
my
the mad.
God.
He's the ultimate in a mad scientist, man. He's definitely a mad scientist.
One clever fella.
Gav's just poured a 9-year-old Linkwood.
Yeah, that's
Did
fine.
that be a Cadenhead's Linkwood, Gav? We just call him Chris. Yeah. That was aimed at you, I think. Salt is probably from you sweating into your glass. Okay. Right. Cheers, mate. Funky with some Glen Scotia and Loch Lomond.
So Michael pulled away from Glen Scotia now. He's not doing anything with Glen Scotia. He's concentrating all on Loch Lomond now.
Well, they've got a new master distiller, haven't they? They've got that girl took over, isn't she? Yeah. Can't remember her name. Her name slips me. I think he's got enough going on at Loch Lomond, didn't he?
You're telling me.
there's plenty happening at that distillery.
Oh no, I liked this from the very first time I tried it, Ali. That sweet peat for me is just awesome. And I think the strength's bang on as well.
Honestly, I feel like this one's been
just
really
bang on at
popular
that 46.
It's been popular for us in that I think it's really captured peated drinkers, but also like curious drinkers, not like those who are interested in peated whiskey, but always a little nervous, a little unsure. It's kind of been a good entry for them, but also the big peated drinkers I think can still really appreciate it. So it's covered quite a wide range of drinkers. This one.
Yeah.
I don't think that would intimidate you about peated whiskies, man. I think that would help you along the way, I think. Definitely. think if you're trying to get somebody into peat, then that would probably be somewhere nice to start with. That would be a decent peaty jar to start somebody on.
That's a peak gateway whiskey, definitely.
That could have sat in front of Firestarter quite easily on the lineup. That one.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I think even the slightly lower peak content could, you could have them either way around.
I do prefer Firestarter.
Yeah.
Wait till the last one.
So I would say
It's just a bigger ABV, isn't it?
no. I mean that's it. It's just a personal preference as well. Like, would I go Firestarter? Maybe, but I would say that the more popular has been Smoking Riff probably quite comfortably than the style of Firestarter. But again, that it's not to say one is better than the other, but like it's just sherry and peat together is a very popular style. So the Smoking Riff goes more into that style.
Sweet Pete. So I was lucky enough. Thanks for the invitation to the launch of this one, mate.
No worries.
Going to be wild, eh? Mamma mia. Where do we go with this one? Yeah, tell us all about this, mate. There's too much for me to talk about with this one.
Yeah, this one
This
is
is all
probably
your kind of the new kids on the block, isn't it?
this is
How
the
you
one
blended this, Ali? How you blended this?
It's
Fair play
the
to
one that has taken by far the longest. Not just, I mean, by a long way the longest to pull together. So we had this idea that it'd be cool to create a blend with who we think are some of the best new generation of distilleries in Scotland. So we managed to pull together for this one Ardnamurchan, Lochlee, Nicknean and Rassay. So Ardnamurchan peated sherry cask, Lochlee and Nicknean first fill bourbon, Rassay peated chinkapin cask. So each of these distilleries is, I mean, pretty new. I think Ardnamurchan is now they had their 10 years last year. They released 10-year-olds, so they're about 11 years old now. But all quite new distilleries, all on the west coast of Scotland.
New Wave, I think they sold on it. New Wave.
Yeah, and they all have their own story, their own style, but the one thing they all have in common is just sort of commitment to quality, no shortcuts kind of approach, long fermentation time, good wood management, really focusing on quality in the glass. Nice, man. But so obviously that's the new malt distilleries in it, but we weren't really sure about trying to work with a new grain distillery, so we decided to go down the other route and work with a grain distillery, so Port Dundas. So it's almost like New World malt, Old World grain. 53%, so peated obviously from the Ardnamurchan and the sherry and the Rassay and the chinkapin. I mean the Ardnamurchan is probably the kind of dominant style in the blend, and that you've got that kind of waxy, salty, meaty, smoked meatiness coming through from the Ardnamurchan. The Lochlee and the Nicknean, I would say, is just lighter spirits that work so well in first fill bourbon. So more into those kind of esters, the creamy, fruity notes. And then the Rassay, that island distillery, and his peated chinkapin cask this time. So almost that kind of charred creme brulee.
This is about 85%. It's about 85% malt, this one, isn't it?
Yeah,
There's
very high.
A lot of, big malt.
Grain is quite a small percentage on this one, but I mean the whole idea of this I just found so cool and exciting to work on, and that you think like single malt has only become a sort of big category in the last sort of 25 years or since the year 2000. Before that, you'd obviously find like Lefroy, Glenfiddich, Macallan, but it wasn't such a diverse wide category. So you almost think like any distillery built before the year 2000, blending would have been a big part of their strategy, a big part of their purpose would have been for blending. Now, these distilleries, the malt distilleries in this, they're like almost the first generation of distilleries that have been purpose-built for single malt. And this is the first time any of them has appeared in a blended whiskey, and we were able to be the company, the blender who pulled that together. So for us, it was really cool. It's like the whole industry going full circle in some way, but it's a great one to work on, and certainly been a big hit.
So much
It It does smell like an aftermarket.
It's a
I get rassy from it.
yeah. No, it's really cool trying to pull out the different notes for it. And honestly, like each of the distilleries has such a great story to tell, and they're doing interesting things, but differently. I mean, Ardnamurchan, I would say the quality across the full spectrum of samples was just excellent, whether it was peated sherry, unpeated sherry, peated bourbon, unpeated bourbon. Like the quality across the spectrum was really, really high. But it made me think, like, because this one's been popular, like again, you can still buy it, but from our end, we're sold out. But it made me think, like, in the future, it'd be quite cool to revisit this in a few years and do a blend with the same distilleries of, like, I don't know, a B-side or something, but do completely different, same distilleries, but just totally different style. Would be quite interesting.
Absolutely, yeah.
Again, still available in the
Ali,
world.
but Ian's
Still available.
Yeah, Ian's put that hopscotch link in there. If you don't know if you've spotted it, you spotted
That's
it in the
great.
chat, in the private chat. He's dropped that link for hopscotch in there for you.
I'll get that. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate that.
No worries.
Yeah.
That's just hitting everything at once: sweet, savoury, treacle, fruity, smoky.
Gav's asking if it's toasty.
It's funny. This is the one that probably made both Gordon and I most nervous in a way, in that we were buying casks from each of the distilleries specifically for this blend. Whereas usually we have our own stock of casks that we're developing for a long time, and you're pulling casks flexibly to create each blend. But this one was quite like buying specifically for this to create the blend. And
so would that process be? Would that process be you'd go and taste a couple of Ardnamurchan casks, or you go and taste a couple of Brassy casks?
Each of the distilleries was sending us a sort of full spectrum of styles that they have, and we would sort of narrow down from, like, when it was Ardnamurchan, as I said, if it's peated sherry, unpeated sherry, peated bourbon, unpeated bourbon, we sort of narrowed down that for this blend, the peated sherry was the style we wanted to go for, and then we were getting a selection of peated sherry casks to choose from to actually use for the blend. But the whole process took forever, man. And that, like, I was sort of trying to explain the idea to each of the distilleries, saying that, hopefully this creates some synergy for each of us. Like, we bring the following from each of the distilleries, from Turntable, together, and introduce new people to each of the brands, and just make it more accessible in some ways. And they all quite liked the idea and wanted to be part of it. But the question from everybody at the start was, yes, in theory, would like to be a part of it, but who else is doing it? And, like, trying to get the first domino to fall was painful. But we got.
Yeah, but then you got to convince Rassy. You got to convince Rassy that Ardnamurchan's putting 37% of it in, and you're going to get, like, what's the
even on the label, we just went alphabetical. Just
yeah.
I think if you cut through the Ardnamurchan, which is superb, which is the dominant flavour, there's so much going on, Ali, with this. You've done really well with this.
Thanks,
so much
man.
going on. This is one I'm going to go and buy. I found it in the world.
No, we're really pleased with how the whole thing came together. But as I said, it was the one we were probably most nervous about.
It's very good. What's this? 53%?
So looking quite atmospheric with you, Alan, too, now with the smoke going and the samples all kicking around. It's all looking
deep in the zone now.
Just wait till he starts dancing.
Again, they're all so easy to sit, man. Even at the bigger proofs, though, they just. That's a bit peppery, that one now. Just feeling a wee peppery vibe with that. Born to be Wild. That's probably the 50. Was it 53? That one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no prickle or nothing.
Steve's right. there's so much going on. There's salted caramel, it's nutty, it's creamy, it's fruity, it's malty, it's every one of the distilleries seem to be bringing something. A wee bit of grilled meat, wee bit of salty grilled meat. You know, I've put down this as a dirty sweet arrival, so it's a wee bit more kind of that peaty. But they've got apples and oranges, and there's a million things going on, man.
No, absolutely, and even as you see, even just the simple fruity, creamy flavors of the Nignian and the Loch Lee and the First Fill bourbon works really well. But it's funny, I was just like genuinely just looking at the desk there, and I've still got some of the cast samples from the Ardnamurchan samples there, and some of the trying to see there.
Yeah, just send them to me. Just send them
to
me.
The Rassi as well, the cast sample ones as well.
But that it's got a lovely, it's got a wee soft finish, man. That malty, it's a malty, biscuity, apricot-y finish on it. It's a nice softer finish on that. Yeah. I think up front, all the big heavy stuff is all through the palate, and it kind of eases off down and just comes down gently in the finish for me.
Yeah,
I'd like to wager a bet, John. I reckon Jackie in the background, I bet this is her favourite one. I guarantee this will be the one she prefers. And they're all good, I'd like to say, but I bet Jackie would go for this one.
Yeah, just to put you in a picture, Ali, John's missus is in the next room. They've split the samples down the middle.
Was she drinking
I
them
try
as
to get her
well?
on tonight. I try to get her on tonight, but apparently she's the nose of the house, you know, the whiskey taster in the house. John's just put his face forward, but his missus is doing all the stuff in the background.
He's the pretty face.
There we go.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Jackie's beautiful as well. Jackie is beautiful. I have to say, I drink the room every week.
Right, John, see you later.
What is your favourite?
Between this and Firestarter.
I knew it. it.
I agree with you, Jackie.
Yeah, I agree. This is so complex. This is lovely.
It really is lovely.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh, thanks, Jackie. Would enjoy them. Thanks for coming through.
That's the boss.
She's watching in the background.
Oh, that's nice.
Ali, when you launched this up in Glasgow, there was a cocktail when we walked in, and was that in the cocktail, that one as well?
No, that was with so that was our kind of entry level to the range, the Unplugged. So it's
right.
I mean,
okay.
Honestly, I don't know if you guys have had a chance to try that one neat as well, maybe not, but we launched that. So obviously we had the core range, which was the Paradise Funk, the Bittersweet Symphony, and the Smoke and Riff, and that will remain the main focus for us, really important. And I think the as you guys said, the price quality is really good, but we just felt the sort of entry level to the range at just above the £50 mark was maybe just a little too high, and we wanted to make like the entry and into the brand more accessible. So we launched one called Unplugged about just over a year ago, maybe 18 months ago, and that's coming in about the £37 mark. But it's just a really, really good quality everyday whiskey. It's like 85% malt, 15% grain, mainly Speyside, First Fill bourbon. There's tiny percentage, like 1.52% of Lacheg, 18 years old, peated, but more for texture than smoke. But I would say like it's just a really cracking everyday whiskey, and price value is really, really good. But that's what we used in the cocktail. It was just a simple one. It was just a sort of whiskey mac.
Is that going to be part of the core range? That are you going to add
so
that to the
that'll
core
be
range?
Continuously available. That'll be always.
Yeah. Okay. So just a couple of things then. What we normally do this time, we normally get the guys to rate them, but I'm going to, because there's 8 this time, I'm going to, rather than do that, I'm going to get them just to pick their favourites.
Cool.
So if you just want to go through and just give me what your favourite is, and then we'll get a kind of rough idea what the room's saying. And then we'll have I've got a couple of quick questions for you just before we get off, and then we'll kind of wrap it up.
Perfect.
So who's up for going first with a favourite?
I'll go first on a harder, better, faster, stronger.
Game's up. Okay.
So, by all means, they've all been good drams, and I think the value for money across the board is superb, Ali. Well done. Well done.
Thanks, mate. I appreciate it.
Now, I'm not a particular smoke-forward person. I like all whiskey, but it's all your smoky ones tonight. I'm going to give you my top 3, actually, Alan.
Okay.
Born to be Wild, definitely number 1 by a long chalk. Born to be Wild, number 1. Firestarter, number 2. Like that.
Yeah.
And Smoking Riff, number 3.
Nice. For a
So you've got
non-peated man,
smoky,
you've
man.
gone
You've
very
got
heavy on the
smoke,
smoke.
and you've got all peated.
You've done it to me. You've done it.
Oh my god. No, I don't do smoke and I don't do peat, and he's top 3 raw smoky and peaty.
Yeah.
What the fuck's going on?
Born to be Wild, 1 good dram. Very, very good.
Okay. Okay.
Well done.
So who's next? Who's up for going next?
Don't all jump.
I'll go.
Don't know, volunteer.
So for me, I'll do a wee bit of a Dave then. So I would say number 3 for me would be Bittersweet Symphony. And then Dingle as number 2, and then Harder, Better, Stronger, Faster for the kind of top 1 for me. Smashing whiskey. Lovely.
No.
Nice one.
Cool.
Well, I'll go next. I'd actually, before Dave actually picked 3, I highlighted 3 that I'm going to go in order as soon as we're done here. So Born to be Wild was my favourite, but the other 2 were the Dingle Collab and Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger.
Nice.
All of those.
Cool.
My number three is Bittersweet Symphony. My number 2 is Born to be Wild, and my number 1 was Firestarter.
Nice one.
Wow. Nice. Okay, so we're all over the place, aren't we? Who's left? Who's yours out?
Alan, 2.
I'd go favourite, harder, better, faster, stronger. And this is weird because I'm a big peat guy, but I mean, I wanted more peat than the peaty ones, I'll be honest. But so harder, better, faster, stronger.
Yeah, see, is this a blending thing, Ali? The guys who don't like peat are now liking peat in a blend.
No, in general,
maybe they just don't like a 10-year-old Kalila, but they like a blended Kalila.
in general, I would say we've not had as much of that feedback as I thought. I thought with the market who love the peated whiskey, there might be sometimes some of the stuff we're doing is not quite enough kick for them. But in general, we've not had it that way as much as I thought. But it's all personal, so like there's no issue with that.
Well, when it came in there with Dave's not a peat guy, but he's 3-1s tonight. These are not mega peated, but there's enough peat there just to keep him his interest and keep him going. Yeah. So I'm going to give you my 3. Well, my number 1 is, it's harder, faster, better, stronger. I'm going to go with the Dingle as number 2, to be fair.
Nice.
And then I'm going to follow it up with the Bittersweet Symphony. That's the kind of 3 for me. So
I can see some of the trends though. If it's quite a lot of smoky, or if it's the sherry mature, there's quite common theme through. Like there's, I can see some of the taste styles for sure. But you can see as well, like the high ABV stuff was quite popular. So the 52%, 53%, 59%, slightly higher ABV was
that harder, better, faster, stronger, man. If you ever do a batch 2 of that, just send me a bottle of that, mate. I'll just pay you for a bottle of it. Or send me a case of it. I'll pay you for a case of it, mate.
I'm just gonna send you 100ml sample and then let you.
No, it's still a blend. Listen, that's the. As you can see with the wall behind you, mate, just send me 100ml sample and I just go after it, just buy loads of it. So that's where it happens. But what a fantastic night, guys. Anybody get any other questions for Ali before I wrap it up?
Well done, Ali.
Thanks, Ali. It's been great.
Yeah, amazing job. Well done.
Thanks, guys. A pleasure.
Ali,
Honestly,
big thanks.
Pleasure joining you
Big
guys.
thanks for your time, mate. Let me wrap this up. I'll drop these on in the background and I'll come out and then we'll have a wee after hours behind the scenes and catch up with the proper stuff. But yeah, no, let me just drop you guys and then I'll wrap this up and we'll get on.
Well done, Ali.
Cheers, everyone.
Let's do it right now. Well, how good was that? 8 fantastic whiskies, turntable, blending house, fantastic stuff. All different. You've seen it. The peat guys were liking the harder, faster, better. The sherry guys were liking the peat, and it's just a mixed bag with the results at the end. But I think everything came out on top. I don't think there was any disappointing out of the 8 of them. Guys, if you've not tried Turntable, check them out, have a look, see what's going on. If you don't like it, just send it to me. You did well. If you don't like it, tell me and I'll buy it off you, man, because it's all great stuff. Super stuff. Not a live stream, don't know what's coming next. Probably going to be another one next month. Still got to figure out what that's going to be. But what a fantastic night, and big thanks to everybody who's joined. If you've liked it, give me the thumbs up. If you've not subscribed, what you're waiting for, just hit that button down below. Big thanks to everybody in the chat. Thanks to everybody who's took part. I've been a wee bit distracted tonight because I've been enjoying the whiskies and enjoying the chat, and I've probably missed a wee bit on this. So if I've missed you on the chat, guys, apologies. Drop me a wee note. But until next time, I'm Alan. I'm the Whiskey Friend, and I'll see you the next one. Cheers, guys. Thank you.